Hi, I am Mr. Crocker, and today we are going to be going over lesson 5 of this chapter on the Southeast. So this lesson is about Southern life, and the big question is, I will know that that Southeast is home. The Southeast is home to cultural traditions that have influenced the nation and the world. So this is just a focus on the culture of the Southeast. It's May and you're visiting Memphis, Tennessee. You are there for the city's big celebration called Memphis in May. At the Beale Street Music Festival, you hear the best in rock and blues music. Later, you wander over to the World Championship Barbecue Cooking Contest. In one day, you've gotten a wonderful taste of Southeast culture. We have the heading, The Culture of the Southeast. As in every region, the Southeast has a special culture. We use the word culture to talk about things like music, painting, dance, literature, and cooking. Whether you are listening to a banjo player or eating barbecue, you are sharing part of the culture of the Southeast. And this is, a brass band playing on the street. Today, millions of people travel to New Orleans each year to hear jazz bands. So I guess they're from New Orleans. Okay. Here we go. The culture of the Southeast is a rich mix of many traditions. Most people in the region come from English or African American backgrounds. Others have different cultural roots. For example, the Cajuns of Louisiana have French backgrounds. On the Gulf Coast, you may enjoy a Vietnamese meal. In South Carolina, you can hear the Gullah language. The Gullah are African Americans in the Southeast who have kept much of their African heritage. All these are part of Southeastern culture. Never heard of Gullah before. That's a new one for me. Music in the Southeast. Many of America's favorite kinds of music have their roots in the Southeast. Rock, blues, gospel, bluegrass, country, and ragtime all began in the region, or grew in the region. One unique kind of music that began in the Southeast is jazz. Jazz music was mostly created by African American musicians. The music they played in New Orleans in the early 1900s spread to other cities. Rock and roll music was also born in the Southeast. In the 1950s, both African American and white musicians developed this new form of music. Memphis and Nashville, Tennessee are centers of rock and roll. The gospel songs of Southern black churches inspired others. Singers like Aretha Franklin made gospel music popular. Beginning in the 1920s, radio programs broadcast gospel and other music across the nation. Today, the internet brings it to the world. Music in the Southeast has changed over time. For example, electronic instruments like keyboards might be heard in jazz bands today. I think it's really interesting the way that just getting music has changed over our lifetimes. In my lifetime, it's gone from, we had the radio, of course, but you had to go to the store and buy a tape or a CD, and now it's completely online, really. Okay. Cultural traditions. Writers tell the stories of each region. These stories are essential in helping us understand the past and learning how they shape the present. Diaries like Mary Chestnut's Civil War report one person's perspective or how they see things. William Faulkner wrote fiction about life in Mississippi. Zora Neale Hurston records the African American experience in her novels. Hurston also made important studies of the folklore of African Americans in the Southeast. Folklore refers to the traditions and beliefs of a group of people, so it's part of their culture. Primary source. When I was a boy on the old plantation down by the deep bayou, the fairest spot of all creation under the arching blue, when the wind came over the cotton and corn to the long slim loop I'd spring, with brown feet bare and hat brim torn, and swing in the grapevine swing. So that was a poem by Samuel Minturn Peck about life in the Southeast. Okay. The Southeast has a long tradition of crafts. A craft is an object made by hand. In Appalachia, for example, people make musical instruments such as banjos. The quilters of Gee's Bend live in Alabama. Their quilts are in museums today. Sports are an important part of life in the Southeast. One of the most popular is NASCAR racing. NASCAR is the National Association of Stock Car Auto Racing. Millions of fans watch the races. Most of the racing teams are based in North Carolina. And that is a picture of part of a NASCAR race. They're called stock cars because they're all kind of the same in some ways. They're supposed to have sort of the same sorts of equipment. Oh, that's kind of interesting. It's not super fun to watch if you ask me. The New South. A century ago, most people in the Southeast lived in rural areas. Today, most live in cities. Georgia is a good example. In 1900, more than 8 out of every 10 people in Georgia lived in the country. Today, about 8 out of every 10 live in cities, and the cities in the Southeast are still growing. The Southeast has moved away from an economy based on agriculture. In Birmingham, Alabama, industry grew quickly. Crowded with steel mills, it was called the Pittsburgh of the South. Like most other southeastern cities, however, Birmingham is no longer an industrial city. Most people in Birmingham work in service industries today. The city is a leader in medical research and banking. One area of North Carolina called the Research Triangle is also growing quickly. The cities of Raleigh, Durham, and Chapel Hill are there. This area is a center for research in medicine, computers, business, and education. In Arkansas, too, service industries lead the economy. Especially important are businesses that sell things. Arkansans, tough word, sell everything from automobiles to groceries. It's also where Walmart is based. Some of the world's biggest service providers are in the Southeast. The headquarters of many communications, technology, and internet companies are in Northern Virginia. Okay, and this is a picture of the University of Carolina at Chapel Hill. It is one of the universities that make up the Research Triangle in North Carolina. So the main idea of that section, I think, was just that the economy of the Southeast has changed from the days when it was based on plantations and agriculture in general. It has gone more the way of the rest of our United States economy into technology and service industries. So they have transitioned out of that economy that was dependent on agriculture. Fast-growing cities. Many cities in the Southeast lead the country in population growth. Of the 100 fastest-growing United States cities, 16 are in the Southeast. New Orleans. New Orleans, Louisiana is known for its food and music. Founded in the early 1700s, the city is a busy port of the Mississippi River. A port is a place where people or goods can enter or leave a country. Large ships move products up and down the Mississippi between the Southeast and the Midwest. Thousands of ocean-going ships connect New Orleans and the world. In 2005, Hurricane Katrina caused a lot of damage to the city. The people of New Orleans survived many challenges as they rebuilt their city. The rebuilding of New Orleans continues today, and we talked about that, how it was the storm surge that flooded the city and caused a lot of damage. Charleston, South Carolina is one of the Southeast's oldest cities. It was founded in 1670 by English settlers. It is a mix of old and new. Many tourists come to see the colonial buildings and beautiful gardens. Near Charleston's harbor is the South Carolina Aquarium. There you can see plants and animals from all areas of the state. Also at the harbor is the Fort Sumter National Monument. It marks the place where the first shots of the Civil War were fired. Like the rest of Charleston, it is a good place to see how the Southeast has changed. Atlanta, Georgia is one of the leading cities of the Southeast. The capital of Georgia, Atlanta, began as a railroad center in the 1830s. Today, Atlanta is still a center of transportation. In fact, it has the world's busiest airport. And the picture says Nashville is one of the largest cities in the Southeast, so that is Nashville. Okay. Atlanta is growing quickly. Shiny new buildings are going up and new businesses are moving in. Kasim Reed, mayor from 2010 to 2018, helped make Atlanta one of the top green cities in the United States through the large citywide recycling program. The city is a center of communication and finance. Atlanta is one of the cultural capitals of the Southeast. Okay, so in closing, the Southeast is a place where we've seen a lot of music develop, a lot of really good food like barbecue and Cajun food. There are also a number of universities there. You see a lot of sports. They talked about NASCAR, but also college football is really big in the Southeast. And they have a number of cities that are large and growing. And that concludes the chapter on the Southeast.